Alright gang, this video is dedicated to Mr. Willy C. He has his own channel, puts up great videos. You guys really need to go over there, look up Willy C and subscribe to his channel. He would really appreciate it. And like I say, he's got great videos over there. He's got a 64 Landlord, very similar to my old Landlord here, and it's in really good shape. So this video is to help him out a little bit on some of the details and particulars about the wiring and brackets and just little things like that. So we're going to pretty much go over the old Landlord and in all of its dirty goodness right after I walk over here and shut this fuel off on this generator and let it go ahead and run down. So yeah, you guys might guess that the video of Ugly Alice and Ugly Sally are back to back to the video for the old Landlord. Now, sans me having a hydraulic lift and a different bracket for my mid PTO, his should have all the same setup other than having a strong arm and well, a strong arm just like what's on engine 44, just a regular strong arm. The wiring on the Squire is also as close to exact as I could get with the cloth wrapped, but the old Landlord has a little perk that it still has the insulation boots on the starter generator, and I don't remember if I've got the boots. Yeah, no boots. The old Landlord is the only one that has those boots, and they look really similar to positive battery post covers. You can see right here. Here's the covers I'm talking about, Willy. Okay, and then the cloth wrap. What you can actually do, and it may sound a little crazy, is get yourself a pair of flat shoestrings. I'm serious. Get a set of flat shoestrings, cut the ends off, shove a dowel, appropriately sized dowel, through the shoestring that will then make it round, and then put a couple of coats of black paint on them, and that will stiffen them up and they will look identical to these wraps. That's an easy way to make it look absolutely identical with something that you probably already have laying around. If you wanted to, you could even get black flat shoelaces. If you know what I'm talking about, there's no center cores in them. They'd be like for sneakers or something along those lines. But you can use that. Just look for a similar weave and stretch them out with a dowel and paint them. I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood off here so Willy can get a little better look at what's going on under the hood. Boy, that generator runs a long time after you shut the fuel off. There it goes. As soon as I said that, it's struggling. And it's done. Okay, let's get the hood popping. Okay, first thing most everybody asks about is where do you get your hood bolts? They are difficult to find. Yes, they are difficult to find. I've just been fortunate that a lot of the tractors that I've gotten over the years, which is into the dozens, I kind of have a tendency to hoard them. So everything that uses them has them here on the Zippo Ranch. They can be manufactured on a lathe if you have a coin knurler. So Willy, if you know a machinist who's close enough friend that he would make you a set, then I would get in touch with him. Alright, when we look over here, we can see that I do have two correct cables here. Alright, I also have the correct generator cable that goes to the starter button, and how it is routed is through a little divot that's in the frame. It gets routed through that, and it comes around and goes down and connects to the opposite of your battery side on your push button starter. So the correct connectors, this one has near correct connectors, which are just small spades that are rubber coated, and it's, as you can see, a really short cable. That wire obviously is not original. This is my battery lead going to the amp meter. I wasn't overly concerned about having the correct one, but it would be black wire, and if you can find them with the offset, with the right angle spades, you said you weren't worried about that, but right angle spades, and then that shoestring trick, and that'll take care of your cloth issue. Just paint them, a couple coats of paint, that'll stiffen them up. Pull that dowel out and you will have your cloth sheathing. So there is usually a boot, but you're going with a 16 horse. This is a 12 horse. You're going with a 16 horse. So this part is going to be a little bit different. The head spacing is a little different from 13 to 16 horse. So this bracket right here, you were questioning if there is a bracket that goes from the engine to the grill frame. Yes, there is. That's the bracket, and I have spares. So no worries there, I have spares. You will have to re-drill these two holes and space them accordingly. And then this piece right here has a slotted hole in it so that you can adjust the grill back and forth to align it with your front hood bolts and your back hood bolts. And Willie, if you don't have one and you need dimensions and all that on these, I will gladly send you one that I have ordered, so that you can see if you can find a machinist that can mimic them. And then all that's done here is a 1/4 inch hole is drilled through after it's been machined, and then a 1/4 inch steel dowel rod is pressed in. So you would do in numeric, or in letter terms, I'm not sure what letter drill bit it is. I think it's an N, but the machinist will know. So that you can get a press fit and that'll stay in place. Some of the hood bolts are made and completely machined with the threads. Other hood bolts are made where they are drilled and tapped, and then just a piece of all thread is screwed in with cold solder at the base to lock them into place. So there are two different types. The easiest way for the machinist to do it would be, like I said, is drill and tap the stud, or the body of the hood bolt first, and then just take a piece of all thread or a grade 5 bolt that you've whacked the threads off of and set it down in there with cold solder. The gas tank, you have the decal. I do not have the decal on this tank, and I also, as you can see, have a yellow strap on and a correct orange strap. But your bolts are a little interesting on these if you're going to that extreme. You can see the size of the nut here is smaller than your standard 1/4 20 nut. So is the head on the bolt. That's what they came with, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. As far as the dash goes, your dash looks good, including your sticker here, but any decal that you are missing or that you want reproduced or replaced, any decal, you can go to Click It and Stick It and talk to either Nathan or Corey, and they can get you any decal you need or a complete decal set. Again, that's clickitandstickit.com. Years ago, I helped Corey put together early B10 decal sets. I even sent him parts. I also helped him with the Simplicity S script by sending him a grill badge. And speaking of the grill, if you notice, these two pieces are different colors. The top one is black. Your piping, take mineral spirits and wipe the crap out of it until it goes back to white. White is how they came out of the factory. White on the top and bottom. They're very large staples. If you're really, really careful, you can get those staples out. And this was a bent up grill. They can be straightened, and they can be straightened pretty easily. Just use a couple of folded up shop towels and a wooden bench and a dead blow hammer, and you can straighten everything out to look perfect. As you can see, my grill sides, the chrome is in very good shape on this. I was very fortunate in that respect. My landlord decal is new. It is an exact duplicate to the original. So any decal that you need, or any decal that you want to upgrade, again, you can go to Corey or Nathan at Click It and Stick It, or you can just look on their website, and they have a lot of them posted. Let's see, what else do we need to cover? I don't remember what else you were asking about. You were asking about the cardboard that covers this, and I think I already covered that with you. It's about the thickness of a cereal box cardboard, and the pieces that you have missing in yours were just ripped out to accommodate. They would actually just have the two holes that these two go through, then all the rest of the wires, like your battery wire, ignore that wire, because that wire is just going to my lights, because I have a light switch right here. But the large regulator like this is the correct regulator. The smaller regulators will still bolt up in place, or they can mount right here, where the regulators can mount right here. I have gotten 64s where the regulator was here and there was nothing on the firewall. It just all depended on their mood, I guess, that day. The 23Ds had a similar bracket to this, and some of the regulators were mounted here, some of them were mounted here. The ones that were mounted here did not have the cardboard. The ones that were bulkhead mounted, firewall mounted, did have. I highly suggest that you take some Formica or some form of substrate that's nice and thin and rigid, and put it between your battery and your gas tank. Your battery is the main cause of these tanks rusting out, next to rust in the tanks. You can still get the gas caps. This gas cap is about 10 years old. As you can see, just the weep hole has a little bit of darkening around it, and the cap is yellowed just a little bit. Natural aging, natural weather. The difference between the old and the new, I'll show you here in just a second. As you can see, the knurling on this is just like coin knurling, and I believe the Haas, the 3212, has an original on it. No, it does not. Okay, I don't think I have one then, at least not present. And then this is one that hasn't yellowed quite as much because it's not quite as old, but these can be ordered. So I'll send you the manuals. You email me and I will send you the manuals. If I haven't already, I think I already did. I'll send you the manuals to your 23D engine. I think I already did. Your 23D engine, your tractor, and your 16 horse that you're going to be putting in it. As far as the flex disc versus the rubber vulcanized, you already know, get rid of that rubber vulcanized. No bueno. Get the fiberglass discs. If you don't have fiberglass discs, let me know. I have a little stockpile of them. You can, if you don't have an electronic ignition 16 horse, you can mount a Nova 2 under the points cap and sneakily make it electronic ignition. Fuel hose routing. I'm going to show you how each one of these that I have is routed. Is there a correct way? That's the thing. These things were so old to begin with. It's almost guaranteed that the fuel line was replaced at some point in time and was routed differently each time. The way I have this one routed is absolutely incorrect. It would have gone through the bulkhead, and it still would have gone in between the block and the carburetor. It did not come out this way. I think on some of them I went ahead and put them outside just for ease of installation. But you can see here on Ugly Allis, it is going through the bulkhead. Plenty of holes in the bulkhead for you to run that fuel line through. Doesn't matter which hole, because like I say, it's almost impossible unless you find one brand new in a crate that still has its fuel line installed on it to be able to tell. This is a 16 horse. There's absolutely nothing you have to do to go from the 23 D9 horse to the 16 horse. Bolt it up. It's a direct drop in. You may have to change your spacers a little bit. You may have noticed my nice pretty shiny chrome headlights. Well, these actually came off of a Harley-Davidson light bar. They are original guide headlights, but these were driving lights on, I don't remember, it was like a 85 FLH if memory serves. So if you want to go shiny chrome, or if you want to go black bucket with chrome ring, you can do something like I've done over here. This is an original light bar right here. Nope, that's one of the reproductions. But light bar with the original bucket and chrome headlight rings. Most Harley bikers, Harley riders, they want to change these first and put the Frenched ones. They're just longer and deeper. So they'll throw these on eBay. I picked up a bunch of these for pennies on the dollar. You know, 10, 15 bucks all day long. They might be a little higher now. As far as the landlord has a pull switch to turn the headlights on. That's incorrect. What is correct for 1964 are these exact buckets. I got super lucky and found new old stock buckets. And this is how they're operated. Just like that. And they will have guide on the back of them. I mean, you can see they were, when I put them on here, they were brand spanking new. Then as far as a rear light bracket, this bracket right here is the correct light bracket, and you can just make it out of a piece of 1/4 inch by, I think it's 1 1/8" flat stock steel. That is what the original backlight bracket looks like. Obviously not an original light hanging out back there. The only original light that I have that doesn't have the original light bulb is this one, and this was a used one, and the way that this was turned on was via a switch on the dash. On 64 they gave you a template on where to drill, which would be over here in this area, but in 65 and on up to 68 there was an actual dimple there where they had pre-punched it to make it easy to knock it out and install it. This one actually has a brand new rear light kit on it for the B10/Squire seat, but that's what the bracket looks like for it. But that is an original rear light, and I put the switch, I use a European switch, and I put them over in place of one of the side cover bolts. They're just the right size. You don't have to open up the hole or anything like that. So What more can I tell you? Oh, on your 16 horse swap, if your oil pan is, or excuse me, if your engine block has a long dipstick in it that either comes up the side or protrudes out the side of the engine, instead of being in the oil pan, it'll be in this location here, and it'll just come straight up out this way. If you have that, you will need to remove that entire assembly, put a flush mount plug in, so you know, a 3/8 socket type plug in the hole, and then swap your oil pan out with a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 horsepower engine that does not that has the oil fill down here. All the bases are the exact same size, same bolt pattern and everything. And the pan gaskets are still available, whole 9 yards as far as that goes. So Willie, I'm sure I missed something. It's been a couple days since I watched the video. Your cable routings, as you can see, I do not have the side cover on here, but your throttle cable comes up from the top in one of these vinyl coated guide deals, and comes down and mounts to a plate on top of your intake manifold, and you use these two nuts right here to get your throttle adjusted in the right spot. Don't tighten those too tight or it'll separate your cable and cause you some issues. I'm sure you already know correct engine speed and max and minimums. 1100 at idle and 3600 at high. So there you have it. If I missed anything, please do reach out and let me know what it is that I missed. I covered what I think is just about everything. Also, I have a bunch of these front covers. They're all in black, but they do take the off-white, and I usually use International Harvester white. That's what's here, and then just gloss black up top. I have some extras of these. I can also send one of those out along with that bracket that you're missing there and whatever else you're needing, if I've got it. But you always grease these so that when you're ready to mount your snowblower or what have you on it, it's already greased. You don't have to worry about a bunch of rust being on it. But these will take the paint. In fact, I think something still has, yeah, this one, other than having been rubbed right here by my bucket, this one has had the paint on it for, oh Lord, how many years? Since 2007, so a very long time. And that is an original part as well that would have come with the tractor, would be a front PTO cover. I didn't look close enough at yours to see if you had the seat stop. This is the correct seat stop for it right here. I think that about covers it, Willie, and everybody else that has watched and has made it through this all over the place video. But that's 24 minutes. Hopefully that's enough. If not, please let me know, and I'll shoot another video for you and clear up any other mysteries that you might be dealing with. So to Willie C and to everybody else that watched, thank you very, very much for hanging out with me. I hope you've enjoyed this little walk around of what's correct, what's not. I didn't cover the choke cable because I don't have my side cover, but you can see right here that the choke cable just gets pinched between the side cover and the back of the dash tower. Okay, so just like that. That's it. Comes out from that way, goes under, mounts to a bracket, and this choke, this carburetor just happened to have a different choke type lever on it, so I just choke it. I've been doing that for years. without having the cable hooked onto it. But keep your cables lubricated so they'll keep working. All right, now that's it. It's your friendly neighborhood Zippo. I promise you guys I'll see you on the next one. Later. I'm out of here.